Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Just a brief recap on where we are with the book of Joshua chapter 3. Joshua is listening to what God is saying to him and then relaying that information to the people of Israel. And he tells them to take some steps. Sometimes when we sense God is speaking to us, it requires us to give a response. It requires us to do something in response to what God has said to us. And the Israelites were told to do something very practical in terms of crossing the Jordan River. It says in verse 7, the Lord told Joshua, "Today I will begin to make you a great leader in the eyes of all the Israelites. Then they will know that I am with you, just as I was with Moses. Give this command to the priests who carry the Ark of the Covenant. When you reach the banks of the Jordan River, take a few steps into the river and stop there." And we talked about what that involved. Verse 9, so Joshua told the Israelites, "Come and listen to what the Lord your God says." God still speaks. Verse 10, "Today you will know that the living God is among you. He will surely drive out the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites ahead of you." So these were the people who were already in the land. These were the people who, from a common sense point of view, would have made it seem an impossibility what God was asking. These are the people who stood in the way of God's promises becoming God's reality. And God was not unaware of the challenges that the Israelites would face. And therefore, he said to Joshua to tell the Israelites, "I will drive out these people." So the reality is that Joshua and the Israelites had to move forward in obedience to what God had said. But the work of driving out actually belonged to the Lord. The battle belongs to the Lord. We're required to move forward in obedience. We're required to say to God, "I believe what you've said to us. I believe that what you've asked of me is possible. I believe that there's a hope and a future ahead of me that I will only enter into and experience when I really understand what it is to follow you. So I'm going to be obedient to the call of God. I'm going to respond to that, possibly a still small voice. It may be a large cacophony of noise that you've heard from God, and you know this is God's will for you. You know this is God's heart for you. And he's simply saying, will you walk in what I have told you? Will you walk it out? Will you work it out? Will you work it through? Will you allow me to actually do so much more in you and through you than you ever thought possible? If you do that, then I will drive out those things, those people, those situations that stand in the way of my purposes for you. See, God had a plan and a purpose for the Israelite nation, and he has a plan and purpose for us. And it's just the same in lockdown as it is ever. God has stood on the throne. God is still doing amazing things, and God still wants to work through his people. So the Lord wants to say to you today, be encouraged. There's opposition, but I will deal with it. Just trust me, be obedient, take the first step. And when you take that first step of obedience, just watch me deal with the things as only I can deal with them. So be encouraged. God's got your back. He wants to propel you forward into all that he has for you. The best is yet to be.